Welcome back to the Lazy Eye. This is No Boundaries. This is an Eartheater special. We're back here after a kind of long summer break. But we're kind of back in our bi-weekly schedule of No Boundaries, and we'll see how the Lazy Eye podcast will come along. So this is the Eartheater special. Very exciting. I actually was in Athens for a little while last week, and super randomly I saw that Eartheater was actually like kicking off her tour there. I think it was like maybe the second stop. She did New York first, and then she came to lovely Athens to perform. Little did she know, poor Eartheater. It was a difficult show. I think for her more than all of us. Well, maybe for us too a little bit. We'll get into it. So this is a redemption show for me and for her, because I feel like Greek organization destroyed a lovely thing that could have been. So we're gonna honor our theater on this episode, and we're gonna play some nice tunes. Maybe not from her, but I guess from people in the scene, or maybe like a couple of tracks with similar kind of vibes, you know. We're gonna kick this off with I think my favorite, or at least one of my favorites. This is Below the Clavicle.
Come back to me and take me riding. Let's just get physical, don't wanna talk. There's a lump at the base, stuck in the middle of my clavicle. I'm a clever girl. To keep my mouth shut. The meaning hasn't come out yet. It's still under the surface. physical, don't wanna talk. There's a lump at the base, stuck in the middle. My clever girl, I'm a clever girl. To keep my mouth shut, the meaning hasn't come out yet. We're still under the surface, below the
Yes. So that was below the clavicle, and yeah, I'm in my little Kreuzberg apartment that I kind of redecorated and rearranged, feeling cozy in my little office. Recording this at 2 a.m. Because I got a bunch of deadlines, so this is kind of my escape. So bear with me. Yeah, so Eartheater, she was performing in Athens, and I was wicked excited to go and see her because I was gonna be in Athens for 5 days, and honestly, like, trust the city that just kind of destroyed any sort of nice ancient temple and neoclassical building just to create like kind of grayish, blockish kind of buildings with grey tents over the balconies. Trust them like to really tune into the culture, just organize the hell out of shit. Yeah, it was sad because like we're all very excited. Like every person in Athens that you know is kind of like underground relevant was there to see her, and I mean the whole thing was just like they had her sitting next to the stairs leading to the bathrooms. That was her green room, just sad. Yeah, and like we couldn't really, like, we had to sit in like metal kind of like patio chairs in an open space in a terrace, but with like a roof, like the worst space acoustically, and it was cold, and it was supposed to start at 7 in the afternoon for some reason, because they could only use that space till like 11 p.m. But obviously everyone was like recovering from last night's ketamine, so everyone showed up late, and so it started around like 8 p.m. and or even later. Yeah, so what happened is like the opening act started playing for like 20 minutes and then audio cut off, so we got the engineers in, took them like 5 minutes to figure it out, and then she just started performing from the top, which I've never fucking seen in all my days. So that led to a 1 hour plus opening act. Bathrooms were outside the venue. A little kiosk that you could buy a beer was outside the venue, and there were like 2 people working there. So basically, yeah, until it got to Eartheater going up on stage, we were already like 4 hours there. And by the time she got up, she had to leave the stage because they had to close the space. So she played for like 30 minutes. Oh, Jesus. Everyone was like cold and hungry and hangover, and just it was maybe that's what she was going for. Like, knowing her a little bit, not personally obviously, but like I mean, I got late on the like bandwagon because that was Metallic Taste of Patience, by the way, playing on the background. In the background, not on the background, Jesus. Yeah, but maybe that was on purpose. She was like, let's fuck with them a little bit. Maybe that was the performance. In which case, like, she nailed it. Anyway, this is like a fresh start for us all. I mean, she's performing in Trauma Bar in 3 weeks in Berlin. I'm sure that's gonna make the sour taste go away. So yeah, this is the Eartheater special, and I found this amazing article on Fader magazine that was actually written before her third album, Irisiri. So this is like pre-Phoenix and Trinity. So yeah, the article is called Eartheater is a pop renegade searching for truth. And it's beautiful. It's not very long, but it has like this beautiful kind of intro on her kind of upbringing, which I think is iconic. So I'm gonna put another track just kind of in the background and read a little bit of this because I think it's like amazing. Yeah, okay, here we go. So here's how the article opens. The placenta that nourished Alexandra Druchin in the womb is buried under a cherry tree in the garden of her childhood home. The artist who makes industrial spiked pop as Eartheater grew up on a remote horse farm in northeast Pennsylvania. Already best opening to any fucking article you'll ever read. Yeah, so then it continues with okay, let's see. She was born to a British mother and a Russian father who met and fell in love in New York before moving to the countryside. Druchin's father, the son of a Soviet-era propaganda artist and himself an abstract painter, was absent for much of her childhood. When Druchin was 8, her parents split up, leaving her mom to bring up 4 children on her own. She's the most badass lady, Druchin tells me one morning in December as we sit at a wooden table in her light-filled bedroom in Queens, New York. She gave birth to us all on her own in the house and homeschooled us all. How iconic. Yeah, so then like the writer goes on to kind of describe like the apartment in Queens and yeah, let me maybe continue to, okay. When Druchin was 16, money problems forced her mom to sell the farm and relocate the family to a tiny apartment in a small neighboring town. Her mom had to get a job, and Druchin found herself attending school for the first time. She gravitated to the art room and hung out with the punk kids, musicians, and stoners. She fell in love with Rage Against the Machine, yes mommy, and had her first kiss under an angel statue in a graveyard. Icon, diva, legend. Oh my god, girl boss also, cause the rigidity of the school system, however, left her disenchanted. For her senior year, she transferred to a community college that allowed her to take the classes that she wanted to: Psychology 101, Color Theory, and Creative Writing. I was like, boom, I'm just gonna educate myself. Yes. Serve, pussy, cunt, girl boss, that shit. Yeah, the article is like amazing. Talks to her about like just kind of like busking with a guitar on the street, picking up like weird jobs and connecting to the art community, playing a lot as a musician in other people's bands and touring with them. So it kind of, yeah, it's like a very personal article that's like super. It's a very fun read, I promise. So yeah, I'll attach that in the like bio of the like description on YouTube and Spotify and all the other platforms the lazy eye is on. Follow, subscribe, comment, like, yes. Nice. So let's maybe listen to a little bit of this. Nice. So that was kind of the end of Prodigal Self, the opening from Trinity. Yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about her, I guess, like history and discography as well at some point, but I think it's not that important. You can look that shit up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna I just kind of like, I want to play the song after Prodigal Self. It's not Eartheater. It's actually Cuckoo Chloe featuring Shy Girl. And it really isn't that like Eartheater vibe, to be honest, but for some reason it kind of has the same kind of feel. So yeah, I'm gonna play that now. The track is called Juicy, again from Cuckoo Chloe. And yeah, so we're gonna get into that.
Baby, you were right, I'm just fucked up. Baby, you were right, I'm just fucked up. Baby, you were right. Baby, you were right. Baby, you were right. Baby, you were right, I'm just fucked up. Maybe you were right, I don't give a fuck. Maybe you were right, I'm just fucked up. Yeah, just fucked up. Maybe you were right, I'm just fucked up. Maybe you were right, I don't give a fuck. Maybe you were right, I'm just fucked up. Maybe you were right, I'm just fucked up. Maybe you were right, I don't give a fuck. Maybe you were right, I'm just fucked up. Yeah. Maybe you were right, I'm just fucked up. Maybe you were right, I don't give a fuck. Maybe you were right, I'm just fucked up.
It's funny, like, 'cause like this isn't really the same genre, but there's something about like the thematic and like the general vibe that just makes me feel like it's the same thing, but it really isn't. So yeah, that was Juicy by Cuckoo Chloe featuring the Shy Girl. So yeah, we're back here at the Lazy Eye with no boundaries. episode 8. I know it's been a long time. They say consistency is key, and the door is locked and we're outside, but it's fun. Come on, you guys. This year it's gonna be 2 No Boundaries a month and 1 Lazy Eye podcast a month. We're gonna figure it out. Scrapping for time as always. So Eartheater special. I'm not gonna talk about the concert more. There's a bunch of other disturbing details, but let's not ruin the mood. The next song is, I think at some point I need to play like a couple of songs from her first albums. We played only from Phoenix and Trinity so far, so her last 2 albums, and this is from Irisiri, so the one that the article was written about, the one kind of like promoting it, and that's like the one that she really like popped off in 2018. And this is Clit, double entendre there, because it is Clit and it's also called Clit, and the initials are super fun. We're gonna get into them. By the way, CLIT stands for Curiosity Liberates Infinite Truth. So yeah, that was Clit. Metaphorically and literally. Yeah, now, so what happened is like, if you go to her discography, there's like two albums um, that were released in 2015, so like released the same year, and then there was like a 3-year gap. So it's like an interesting, because like she was working as a touring musician with a bunch of bands for like a long time, and then in 2015, like it almost feels like she was kind of working for a long time to kind of like create her own music, and then I guess like she had enough, so she released 2 albums. The first one was Metalepsis, and then the second one was R.I.P. Chrysalis, and then it was like 3-year gap, and then she followed it with like Irisiri 2018, Trinity in 2019, Phoenix Flames Are Dew Upon My Skin 2020, and she's releasing a new album this year, and she also released in 2021 like a version of Phoenix that's all like very droney. So it's like all edits. It's called La Petite Mort edition. That's also like a super interesting listen, especially if you know the album. The one that's currently playing is actually from her first album, Metalepsis. So let's give that a listen. It's called Put a Head in a Head. Yeah, so that was like from her first album. I think it's like interesting to listen to that album, and the second one, I guess, from the same year. It's, I don't know, it's like I always find it like super fun to go like back to artists that I know now because of their latest work and like dig into their early stuff. Yeah, like I honestly, like I love the aesthetic of the first 2 albums. It feels like a little bit more experimental. I think like now it feels like she's taking all those like experimental elements sonically and like the way she arranges it into, but has added like a super kind of like singer songwriter kind of process to it, which actually is like, it's amazing, because then you get like gems like Below the Clavicle and How to Fight that we're gonna listen to in a bit, and a bunch of like the Trinity stuff, which even though there's like that fun kind of hyper pop and kind of like experimental electronic vibe, there's still like a kind of a more songy structure to them. But I do love like her early work just because it like sounds very, like gritty and chaotic. So yeah, now we can listen to maybe something from IRP Chrysalis as well. So we have those kind of like first two albums as references. So this is track number 9 from that album, and it's called Iferen Yen. yeah, so that was Ifedenian from R.I.P. Chrysalis, and yeah, it's like super interesting to go back and listen to those albums. Highly recommend it. And now we're gonna move on to something a little bit more upbeat from her second to last album, Trinity, which was a big one. Really kind of established her like hyper pop, beat based, kind of high energy style that then it's amazing like to see the progression and see kind of like her choices, because she really like from R.I.P. Chrysalis, then Irisiri was like very kind of using like a lot of, I guess, beats or any sort of like percussion, and going like very into this kind of new weird kind of underground, like a little bit hyper pop, a little bit experimental, I don't know how to call it exactly. And then after she was like really established in that place, she really went back to like her roots and just playing an acoustic guitar, adding like cello, and like really like Phoenix is such a beautiful listen, but it's also like an incredible risk, especially like if I don't know, she used to do like a lot of club sets and like club like live performances, and she just kind of went off to like a different direction, which I love, and the risk really like paid off. But this is from Trinity, and this is a fun one. This is called Spill the Milk. amazing. Yeah, I was thinking like during this, yeah, it's hard to believe like the last time we did a No Boundaries was this summer in Athens, like in July, and now it's almost November. Jesus Christ, so much has happened between. Oh my God. Yeah, summer was really nice. Then I came back to Berlin and kind of worked for 2 or 3 months straight. Yeah, that was kind of rough. But last week was my last week at the Greek restaurant, you guys. I'm officially like a full-time artist now, trying to get that German shmoney. Stand-up has been going really well. Been doing a bunch of shows lately. I'd stopped for a bit, like I was doing a little shows when I came back, and now then I took a little kind of break. Second vaccine fucked me up, but it was worth it because then I got to go out in Berlin a bunch, which was a lot of fun, trust me. Like there's moments right now in Berlin where you feel, besides like having to show your vaccine, you don't even realize that there might still be a pandemic going on. This feels like Florida right now. It's so nice. Yeah, but so anyway, yeah, all those things happen. Doing a bunch of shows right now, and also I'm gonna do like some queer shows, which I'm really excited about because I was stuck just doing like bad shows for a bit just to get the minutes on stage, but now getting booked in some nice shows. So yeah, things are going well at the Lazy Eye. The school thing is also going good. Yeah, we're like in a good, like this Berlin winter is gonna be fun. I'm supposed to be writing instead of doing this right now, but yeah, you know. Okay, we're gonna go with a non-Eartheater song, only the second and maybe last of the show, but I really like this track. It's called Axolotl from Dune Kanda. Didn't want to get that name wrong. So yeah, this is called Axolotl by Dune Kanda, and it also just kind of puts me in the similar vibe. So yeah, here we go. Fuck yeah. So that was Axolotl by Dune Kanda. And okay, I'm thinking, yeah, let's do like two more tracks. So I think I'm gonna play, I mean, from Trinity, there's like two more that are kind of in my head. I think I'm gonna play High Tide, which was actually the single, and I didn't know about that because I kind of assumed it was Super Soaker because it got like so big, but it was actually High Tide, which I think might be one of my favorites from that album. So yeah, we're gonna play High Tide, and then we're gonna close with a sweet one. Sweet one, I mean, depends which angle you use, but yeah. Okay, so this is High Tide, track number 2 from Trinity. Back here at No Boundaries. Let me plug the show. No Boundaries, a show with music that knows no boundaries, with a host that clearly needs some shit. I finally learned it. Took me 8 episodes, but we got it. Nice. So yeah, that was the Eartheater special. Yeah, I guess like wasn't a super long one. I'm trying to keep it tight. We're back at the Lazy Eye doing more shows. Hopefully like we'll be shooting and recording a bunch in my place now that I can kind of afford to do that. I mean, not economically, just talking about space and organization, because economically I cannot afford to leave this fucking place. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. We're gonna end on a favorite from Eartheater from the Phoenix album. It's called How to Fight. So yeah, good to be back, babes. See you soon.
I've tasted matters of my own blood, and learned to like it. I've gone under the knife of love, dissected every vein and vessel. I know how to fight, how to fight, how to fight, how to fight, how to die, how to resurrect my pride. I know that my stride has been forced in the third. It's a warrior's world. Watch the day break. Set my heart up to be broken again. I've cast myself into the flames and risen once again. I'm gonna do like the morning. Wet as a newborn, little eyes, little holes, sure feet, uncut wings, uncut wings, uncut wings. I know how to fight, how to fight, how to fight, how to fight, how to die, how to